as much with this champion as Yunara Lulu is just going to be locked in. This is one of my new least favorite bottom lanes.
Yeah.
I feel like Yunara hasn't taken over a game in a really long time.
Been a bit of a struggle. And we were talking about the Anivia, but Talia's been a popular option into the Rise. Really good into Xante, really good into Lee Sin, really good into Yunara as well if they want to go for that. The Unraveled Earth having a ton of value. I think
Kassadin!
It would make a lot of
Katarina.
sense to go Talia here.
I do think it's probably a Katarina angle, as never mind. Talia will be locked in. It must have been very close to locking, Showmaker's signature champion from when he debuted.
Where they expect there to be vision. Willer will be revealed, though, eventually, if he goes for these Raptors.
Oh, is he? He is indeed. And will be spotted on the minimap. On the pick, as there's a beat drop onto Jiwoo, who takes a lot of damage here. Might be enough to bait them in, though, as Willer is rotating over and Smash. He is not going to get baited. There is the Q connecting, though, from Willer, as the barrier is enough to keep Smash alive. To set up some sort of dive or potential pick angle. Oh man, Smash with no flash now. Very susceptible to death as Andal comes in. Korea going to try and do what he can, but it's not going to help. And that is going to be first blood over to this Lee Sin. Shovel finally making his way in as they look for Korea as well. This may have been a bridge too far as the flash comes forward, but Shovel doesn't find the mark. And the wind, in fact, does not. He decided not to go in for a 2v2 or anything like that. Smash and Korea fighting once again as Jiwoo flashes on top of Smash. The circle is down, the heal comes in, but it is nowhere near enough. And Jiwoo is angry after that loss in game number 1, and he is taking names now. And Rich is really struggling. I just don't know how much it really means, as Smash is engaged on yet again. Still doesn't have flash, this time has barrier, but he isn't even going to use it because he knows he's dead. Flash does have to be employed here by Jiwoo in the top lane. In the meantime, Shovel does make his way down. The arrow is going to get a flash out of Andal.
Oh, the wall has been leveled now by Showmaker.
There we go.
You can either throw it mid or use it as a combat herald. It seems pretty straightforward.
Rich going all out once again. Grim Deliverance is just going to clear out the wave as Jiwoo gets the knock-up. Rich looks for a Q angle, but takes a lot of turret shots.
We also see a pretty great line of vision set up by KRX. They've definitely sharpened up.
Shovel is just going to go in looking for Jiwoo. Does get Jiwoo, gets the knock-up, but he's now going to have to get out of there. There is the Crescent Guard to knock away.
Is a pretty big weak point for KRX.
Yeah, Jiwoo is now forced to fight against Rich as well, as the wall is going to come on through, and Shelly is just going to bide her time and crash into a wall. Unfortunately, no charge for her, so nicely played there from Showmaker. As Jiwoo does have the passive, but is still going to get pulled towards this turret, trying to fight back against Rich, and is doing a pretty decent job, as he will get put down to that passive now. Rich, let's see whether he commits to try and lock him down. Pathmaker comes in first. Cancels one auto attack, but Jiwoo is just going to vacate.
Yeah, 7 seconds on the ult there. Rich so close to having that available, would have pretty much guaranteed the kill. I guess he had flash.
Oh dear, there's the kickback onto Showmaker. They destroy the Ashe as well. It's a decent seismic shove. His career is potentially able to survive, but the Encore does nothing at all to fight. And Showmaker is getting dangerously close towards this turret. Willer is taking some damage here as well, as the 3-talent strike does come on through, finds a little knock-up onto Willer, who goes back in towards Shovel, taking a lot of damage here as there is Rich getting delivered into this backline and just pulls Shovel away. Man, that was beautiful use of the Realm Warp. And now the ulti from Jiwoo is fired forwards. Decent little shove back there as now Jiwoo is flashing in, looking to get the angle and finds the pullback, but the kick is going to be there, and Rich immediately just hit by the Encore, and then a very dead Jiwoo is going to be the result. Man, these wallets are heavy. 8,000 gold is now the lead for KRX, and they still hold on. See it. I mean, Hawkshot is pretty good at that, but seeing it is not defending it, and that Baron will go over. As we have Jiwoo desperately trying to stop the perfect game here, as the brilliant little shove as Andal takes a lot of damage. The arrow is not going to connect. The Shovel goes into his ulti. Willer is going to throw away the perfect game as he goes underneath the turret, and there is, speaking of turrets, the turret going down as well. So perfect game definitely gone as UCal is just going to destroy Korea. Rich looking for an angle here, level 16 on this Cassante, and he realized that he is not afraid of turrets at all. Sharble gonna have to run away. Showmaker doing the same thing, but Shiu!
KRX, but they're still so strong.
Oh,
hard to
God.
really
Yeah, Sharble doesn't have ult. He's just dead.
Yeah.
It was falling behind a little bit, but it is now going to move into the positives as the arrow is just going to connect onto Jiwoo. And he looked like, for a moment, he was basking in being CC'd before he decided to press cleanse.
I think there was maybe some discussion. Do I cleanse? Do you Mikhail's? They use both of them. So.
Yeah. Do I cleanse or Mikhail's? Yes. And then everything happened.
Yeah, so not ideal. Doesn't mean they can potentially look for him.
Shiu is going to have to throw down the Grim Deliverance just to keep himself alive. Will it? Oh, I expected he'd press Q.
You have a minute window here. If you're going to make a play, Seraphine ult, Korea's nearly got his flash onto Jiwoo. If you catch him before he flashes, that could be the angle while he doesn't have those cleanses available.
We'll see.
It's a tough sell.
It really is. They have at least, some R buttons available. The arrow is still coming up, but Encore is there. The
Flash
guard
is there
is there
now. I think when he pushes up to the tower, he's going to look for it.
Well, they're going to go in. Sharble throws down the ulti, and they all just dive into the circle, and they should be able to take him out. There he goes, down by Jiwoo. And now UCal getting into the backline as well. It's a double kill for Jiwoo here as Jiwoo's taking a lot of damage. He's going to fall, and they get the Yunara. That is definitely true. However, all of them have to die as a response, and KRX will be able to clear up this bottom lane, wait for another wave, and I think just take us to a game 3 and one step closer to breaking the curse and being able to finally take out D+ Gear since 2022.
Super dominant game, and Jiwoo and Andal just on fire. Jiwoo looking revitalized. Had a rough game 1, but in this game 2 crushed it. Jiwoo just put a man immune, by the way, just to mess with
the stat.
Jack it up.